On the way to the Civil Affairs Bureau with my wife for our divorce, I suddenly started hearing her inner thoughts. My cold and stoic wife was looking at me with total disdain on the outside, but then, the very next second, a soft and aggrieved female voice suddenly echoed inside my head. Hubby, I don't want a divorce. If I tell him I'm not feeling well right now, could we skip going for today? Hubby, please don't ever leave me. A girl as fair, long-legged, and beautiful as me, if you throw me away, whoever picks me up will definitely never give me back to you. I slammed on the brakes, nearly rear-ending the car in front of me. Uncertain, I turned to look at Gu Qingning. Her expression hadn't changed at all. Not even her eyelashes flickered once. She was as cold as a jade statue. Garbage, what I swallowed hard, and spoke up tentatively. Since we're getting divorced, it shouldn't affect you much, right, Gu? Qingning finally withdrew her gaze from the window and tilted her head to look at me. Her voice was flat without a single ripple. It won't affect anything. But her inner thoughts were like exploding firecrackers, crackling and popping incessantly in my mind. I'm lying to you. Of course it affects me in our social circles. There's an unspoken rule. There's no such thing as divorce only becoming a widow. If hubby actually divorces me, I'll use my own neck as a swing without hubby. I'll have no joy left in life. I don't want a divorce. I want hubby to hold me. This time, it definitely wasn't an auditory hallucination. Her mouth clearly didn't move yet. Those words were crystal clear, as if she were shouting right in my ear. Gu Qingning seemed to notice my strange behavior. She suddenly turned her head and met my eyes. She hesitated for a few seconds, then spoke softly. I'm feeling a bit unwell today. Can we talk about the divorce next time, eh? Gu Qingning, you're so good, you finally said it. Hubby, please say yes quickly. Let's go home, no more divorce. How can I live without my hubby? I'll throw a tantrum, roll around and act cute. I know all the tricks, whether it's seductive or sweet. Black stockings, white stockings, or fishnets. I'll wear whatever style hubby likes. These words were so noisy they made my temples throb. Repeatedly, but looking at her small face trying to act timid. Somehow my heart just softened. Let's head back for today. Gu Qingning's eyes suddenly lit up. She just nodded gently, pretending to be calm. Okay, whatever you say. On the way back, it was no longer quiet in the car. Like before, I could clearly hear her heart humming a song with an unrecognizable melody. One phrase after another calling me hubby, oh hubby. So sweet it was sickening. Only then did I startledly realize that I didn't seem to know this wife of mine at all. Outsiders all say she's a cold female professor, noble and distant, but who would have thought that inside she's a chatterbox repeater and a total crybaby who loves to act spoiled. We had a shotgun wedding at first, agreeing to marry first and develop feelings later. But both of us were busy with work, combined with her cold personality. So living together was no different than being roommates. We even slept in separate rooms. Back at home, we still walked in one after the other. After Gu Qingning changed her shoes, she said blandly, I'm a bit tired. I'm going to my room now. Hey, must hurry back to the room and check how to coax hubby. Oh right. Where did I hide all those stockings? I have to find them. So annoying. Why does hubby like girls who are cold and arrogant anyway? If he can like a cold block of ice, why can't he like me? I'm easy to coax and so passionate. Even if I'm mad, it only lasts 3 seconds, and then I'm back to coaxing hubby again. I stood at the entrance, my face full of question marks. Who told her that I like people as cold as ice? That's a total fabrication. But this massive contrast made me feel toward Gu Qingning a level of interest like never before. Most importantly, the tone of her inner thoughts. It didn't sound like she had no feelings for me at all. Between the two of us, it seemed a massive misunderstanding was being hidden. Unfortunately, for the rest of the afternoon, Gu Qingning didn't step a single foot out of her room. The distance was too great, and I could no longer hear her inner thoughts. I have a dinner appointment with a client. From inside came her usual cold response. Understood. Hubby isn't eating dinner with me again. He's always going to meet clients. Is the client prettier than me? It must be because I'm not sensible enough. That's why hubby wants to divorce me. My eyes are all swollen from crying. I need to use an ice pack quickly later. Standing outside the door, I paused my footsteps. A mess of emotion surging in my heart, in my memory. Gu Qingning was always calm and composed. Forget crying. Even seeing her frown was rare. Who would have thought? Behind everyone's backs, she was secretly shedding tears over this after finishing the project discussion with the client. I didn't linger long and headed home early. After showering and lying in bed, I stared blankly at the ceiling, my mind a tangled mess. Should we go through with the divorce or not? I've never been one to drag things out. Before the divorce, I had to have a proper talk with Gu Qingning once to clarify what she was really thinking. While lost in thought, a soft knock suddenly sounded at the door. I slowly sat up and looked over to see Gu Qingning standing at the entrance. She had just showered, her long hair draped over her shoulders, still carrying a faint, ethereal mist of steam. Her phoenix eyes, usually so proud, were now slightly downcast, the corners tinged with red. Is something wrong? I still feel a bit unwell. Can you help take a look for me? Her voice was a few shades softer than usual, carrying a hint of bashfulness that was hard to miss. Hubby, please don't reject me. I'll really cry. I've been preparing all night. It took so much mental prep just to dare to come here. I'm not a doctor. If you're not well, let me take you to the hospital for a checkup. Just as I was about to step away, a small, fair, and soft hand suddenly gripped my shoulder tightly. No need for the hospital. I know what's wrong with me. It's just... Hubby, don't look at me like that. My heart is about to leap out of my chest. So nervous. Why is he so handsome today? Hubby, my whole body has gone weak. Can you give me a massage? The moment those words were uttered, the room fell into a dead silence. I could even feel her inner thoughts go completely silent. The air seemed to freeze. The very next second, Gu Qingning's small face flushed crimson, the red spreading from her cheeks all the way to her ears. She bit her lip hard, unable to say a word. Do you feel short of breath? Why did I shout my inner thoughts out loud like that? I clearly intended to say something else. Gu Qingning, you are so stupid. So, do you plan on explaining a bit? Well, As a result, she suddenly reached out and pulled my hand, pressing it against her chest. It's just... my chest feels a bit tight. If you just rub it for me, it'll get better immediately. The bolder you are, the bigger the harvest. I've already come this far. What's there to be afraid of? Hubby, hurry up and rub it. Don't just stand there dazed. My hand, touching her soft skin, instinctively moved a little. The next second, Gu Qingning acted as if she'd been burned, her entire skin flushing a layer of light pink. Even her fingertips were slightly trembling. I recall, if your chest is tight, you can take a Xiao Yao pill. Let me go find some for you. Before I could finish, Gu Qingning, acting on a conditioned reflex, suddenly pinned me down. She probably didn't control her strength well, and my legs tripped for a second. Both of us tumbled onto the bed. She was on top of me, the tip of her nose almost touching my chin. In the chaos, I felt her hand. It seemed to have touched my abs. Oh my god, An 8-pack feels so good. I've been a good person all my life. Touching them once isn't a crime, right? It's not too much to ask. Just one more touch. Just one. Stand up first. You're pinning me down so hard my own chest is tight. Gu Qingning, as expected, only dared to be wild in her thoughts. She immediately panicked, bracing her hands on the bed to get up. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Seeing her flustered and confused state, I couldn't help but reach out to support her. The moment my fingertips touched her waist, Gu Qingning's entire body suddenly froze. Right after, she went limp like water and collapsed onto me again, like this. It's really hard for me to believe you didn't mean to. It's not that... You can't just touch my waist like that. It's a bit sensitive, looking at her. Flushed earlobes. I couldn't resist the urge to tease her a little. As it turns out, before I could even speak, I heard her inner thoughts rambling again. What do I do? What do I do? I touched his abs. So happy my waist was touched too. It tickles, but it feels amazing. Hubby's hands are so beautiful. I want him to touch me a bit longer. Gu Qingning, get a grip. You're being such a pervert. Heh. Alright then. The image of the cold female professor has completely collapsed in front of me. 2 minutes. Later, we were sitting opposite each other on the sofa. Gu Qingning still had a poker face, trying to maintain her cold exterior, but the blush on her face just wouldn't fade away. She looked just like a kitten trying to act fierce. She didn't say anything, just kept staring at me, seemingly waiting for me to speak first, but her inner thoughts had already betrayed her intentions. Aside from romance, I don't want to talk about anything else with hubby. Last time he said he wanted to talk, was it to discuss whether he still needs me or not? If I'd known, I would have worn a sexier nightgown. I regret it so much. Before, when I said I wanted a divorce, you agreed very decisively. I thought you also felt our marriage had issues. I don't see any issues. We've always been living according to what we agreed upon before the wedding. I'm very curious about your reason for wanting a divorce. Unfortunately, the serious atmosphere was ruined by her inner thoughts. Why does hubby want a divorce anyway? Is there some vixen on the side? Which brat dares to steal my man? Is she prettier than me? Is her body better than mine? Is she more educated, better at playing hard to get? Even though I'm only pretending, I'm a very good pretender. Could you just be quiet for a bit? A series of loud questions made my temples throb. As soon as I spoke, the world suddenly fell silent. I didn't say anything. The next second, her inner thoughts echoed again, this time with a hint of excitement. My hubby is so fierce, but he looks so handsome when he's angry. I suddenly want to kneel down and call him master. What should I do? Gu Qingning, you're being way too perverted. But based on what hubby said, it's not like that's impossible, right? This preference was truly beyond my expectations. Underneath the shell of a cold female professor lay so many bizarre thoughts. My request for divorce has nothing to do with the vixen. We made it clear before the wedding if we lived together. For a few years without feelings, we'd part ways amicably. These past 2 years have been too busy Living together felt like having a roommate. I thought you were also sick of this boredom. Furthermore, I heard that back in high school, you liked a certain senior. The moment I mentioned the word senior, the cold mask on Gu, Qingning's face immediately cracked. The pink tint that had faded now started from the base of her neck and spread to her cheeks, eventually flushing all the way to her ears. Seeing her act like this, the flicker of hope that had just ignited in my heart was instantly extinguished. With this reaction, anyone looking would think that the image of that senior still lingers in her heart. If there's someone else in your heart, then there's no need to force yourself to stay with me. Ali-san cannot accept the fact that my wife is hiding another man in her heart. Another man? My hubby is actually jealous. I'm so happy. What other man? That senior is you, you dummy. At most, I'll just confess to him right now, but looking like this, I'll lose my cool image. Should I take this chance to confess my love? If I'd known, I would have worn that lace nightgown. I regret this so much. The senior is me. I stood frozen in place, my brain starting to spin at high speed. I'm 2 years older than Gu Qingning. She went to university abroad. So we basically couldn't have been alumni at the same university. So that person called senior must have been from middle or high school. But looking at her face, I really have no recollection of her at all. During her school days, Gu Qingning must have been a beauty since childhood. How could I not remember anything? Just as I was about to ask, Gu Qingning suddenly stood up. Before, when you asked for a divorce, it wasn't that I didn't react, but at that time a problem occurred in the school laboratory. I really couldn't get away. As for that senior, it's ancient history. I really don't feel well today. About the divorce, let's find another time to have a proper talk. Okay, I can't confess now. It's so embarrassing. I have to find a romantic occasion to make things clear to him. 3 years ago, at the high school anniversary, I already fell for him. How could he not have any recollection of it at all? Seeing the anxiety in her eyes, the doubt in my heart grew larger and larger. But I also knew now wasn't the right time to interrogate her. We both needed time to sort out this tangled relationship. Let's do it in 3 days then. I have to go on a business trip tomorrow for a day. Then I'll go back to my room and rest. Good night. Watching her back as she turned away, my heart was a mess of confusion. Not until her bedroom door closed did I slowly lean back on the sofa, raising my hand to rub my temples. Turns out that cold, stoic female professor isn't just a crybaby who loves acting cute, but she's also a lovesick girl who has crushed on me for years. This marriage definitely can't end in divorce anymore. That talk in 3 days seems like it'll be very interesting. I slightly curled my lips, a flash of a smile in my eyes, watching Gu Qingning's calm expression, while her heart was screaming as she slowly walked back to her room. I leaned back on the sofa, my gaze drifting. Everything that happened throughout today was just too magical. Ever since I started hearing Gu Qingning's thoughts, I felt like I was in a dream. Should I go see a psychiatrist? Is all of this actually real or fake? But every single soft, whiny hubby was so sweet that it felt overwhelmingly real. Right now, Gu Qingning was lying face down on her bed, rolling around frantically. Her whole body was burning up like a small heater. Does Lee Sang already know that I've had a crush on him for years? No, if Lee Sang knew he was that senior, then why would he care about me having someone else in my heart and insist on a divorce? Besides, how did he know about this? Memories of that summer suddenly came rushing back. A little elementary schooler, why? Did you run all the way here after school? He pointed his fingers toward the alley entrance. See that? That's a vocational school over there. The people inside are rough. Don't come here by yourself in the future. Pausing for a moment, he scratched his head again. How about I take you to the police station? Or use your watch phone to call your parents to pick you up? Gu Qingning stood dazed, looking down at the middle school uniform she was wearing. From the alley entrance, several voices called out, Lee Sang, what are you doing, sir? Let's go play ball. You guys go ahead. I'll be there in a bit. When he turned back, he looked at her with a serious face and said, I think I picked up a lost kid. I have to take this kid to the police station first. That day, Gu Qingning, as if possessed by a spirit, firmly remembered this name. She obediently followed Li Sang to the police station until her parents rushed over Li Sang, handed her to the officer, and then turned to run off. From that day on in Gu Qingning's heart there was the silhouette of a youth named Li Sang. Didn't you say so? I heard Li Sang likes the cold and quiet type. I've had to act like that for 2 whole years. Why does he still not like me? Why does he insist on divorcing me? Didn't you say so? I heard Li Sang likes the cold and quiet type. I've had to act like that for 2 whole years. Why does he still not like me? Why does he keep insisting on divorcing me? Honey, I told you long ago that this intel might not be accurate. So you two really got divorced? Not exactly. I told him I wasn't feeling well, so we turned back halfway. After that, I had a brain fart and even tried to seduce him. The fact that I'm still texting you right now is enough for you to know what a pathetic failure I was. Yunqing, on the other end, nearly spat out the mouthful of milk tea she was drinking. Gu Qingning slumped over the table. Her small face contorted her typing speed, slowing down by half a beat. Today he even asked me if I've liked a certain senior for many years. He said he can't accept his wife having someone else in her heart. But there really is no one else. From the very beginning until now, it has always been only him. Yunqing looked at the message, so shocked her eyes widened. This plot, if put into a CEO romance novel, would probably take 365 chapters. So what are you two planning next? We made an appointment. In 3 days, once he's back from his business trip, we'll have a proper talk. I don't want to act anymore. It's too exhausting. Good morning. I made breakfast. Let's eat together. Good morning. Sorry for the trouble. My hubby looks so handsome in a black shirt. My whole body is melting. I love it so much. Oh no, why is hubby just staring at me without saying anything? Did I accidentally say something out loud again? Only then did I realize that her ramblings about black, white, and fishnet stockings earlier weren't just nonsense at all. On the outside, she's a cold and serious professor. On the inside, she's actually that bold. Suddenly, I'm looking forward to it. Before leaving the house, I glanced at Gu Qingning. After hesitating for a moment, I spoke up. I'm off. Wait, your tie is crooked. Quick, let me fix it for hubby. Don't look in the mirror. How can a mirror be as skillful as my hands, even a full length? Mirror can't compare to me. But hearing her inner thoughts, the movement of my hands paused. I looked at her cold face and slowly spoke. My bad. Could I trouble you to help me for a bit? I'm not coming. Inside, let me fix it for you. Only now did I realize that her acting is actually not good at all. In those beautiful phoenix eyes, she couldn't hide the joy and excitement. Why didn't I notice this before? She stepped closer and reached out to adjust the tie for me. In reality, the tie wasn't crooked at all. She just wanted an excuse to get close. Hubby. When other people go on business trips, they have a loving goodbye hug. I can only find excuses for myself, but that's okay. Their husbands aren't as handsome as mine anyway. The two of us were leaning close to each other. I didn't miss a single word of her inner thoughts. If it were yesterday, hugging would definitely have been inappropriate. After all, just a second before that, we were literally on our way to get a divorce. I cleared my throat slightly. Her long, slender, fair hands reluctantly pulled away from my tie. Everything was done. As I turned to walk out, I heard her sobbing in her heart again. My footsteps paused. I turned my head and said, wait for me to get back. Ah, my hubby is so gentle. He turned back and told me to wait for him. He looked so gentle at the airport. As soon as we met, Songziki came over. Hey, old friend. You're about to get divorced, so why do you look so happy? He paused and added, oh wait, the divorce wasn't successful yet. I glanced at him. Your news is quite fast, isn't it? Songziki gave a forced laugh, but he was nervous inside. He couldn't exactly say that he was still in contact with Yunqing. After all, they broke up years ago, yet they still kept each other's contact info. If word got out, he'd be mocked to death. And don't even mention the fact that he accidentally leaked my preferences to Yunqing. Unfortunately, that's what made Gu Qingning pretend to be cold. For 2 whole years, Songziki quickly changed the subject. Do you really have the heart to divorce her? With Gu Qingning's qualities, once you're divorced, so many people will be waiting to jump in. I suddenly looked at him seriously without saying a word. Then I burst out laughing. You sure care a lot about my wife. Don't talk nonsense. Songziki hurriedly waved his hands. I already have someone I like. He froze as if remembering something. Then asked tentatively, is it because I told you before that in Gu Qingning's heart, Ning has a senior she's liked for years, isn't that why? You're demanding a divorce from her. Luckily I could hear her inner thoughts. Otherwise there would have been a huge misunderstanding. Yunqing told me about this. Buddy, don't be mad at me. How was I to know the info? Was that inaccurate? Didn't you two cut off contact a long time ago? What else did she say? I suddenly recalled Gu Qingning's thoughts from yesterday, mumbling about how I like cold, intellectual women. Only yesterday did I realize that I supposedly liked that type of person, but I really don't. I looked at Song Ziki with a dangerous gaze. I only talked about the type of girlfriend you like. I saw you had a pretty good impression of Gu Qingning, and when Yunqing came asking, I told her your type just to help you out. Wasn't that giving you a hand all? Only now did I remember. Back during our blind date, although Gu Qingning was quiet, her smile was very sweet and easy on the eyes. But after registering our marriage, she didn't smile much anymore. Add that to the misunderstanding when I touched her waist earlier. It turned out, I really thought she felt very constrained being with me. So that was the problem. I took a deep breath. Other people's bros act as strategists and supports. But why do I end up with a teammate? This useless, so what kind of person did you tell her I like? Well, that elegant, intellectual, cold, and aloof high mountain flower type? When you rejected. That junior you said you liked, independent, cold women. Songziki, you really are my best bro. You can't distinguish between the truth and an excuse. I'm sorry, my bad, big bro. Who told you to never have a girlfriend before? How was I supposed to know it was just an excuse? Found the source of the misunderstanding. But the biggest problem was still us. Married for 2 years and never had a proper talk. Meanwhile, in another development, Gu Qingning was on her way to the lab. Actually, as long as Gu Qingning isn't in front of Li, saying she's perfectly normal. As for her being cold, it's all an act. Well, not exactly. Outside, she always put on a cold facade. When she walked into the lab, the 4 students who were huddled whispering immediately stood up straight and greeted her obediently. Good morning. Professor Gu Qingning nodded without emotion. Good morning. All right, now about the data. From the experiment. Submit it. I'll be in the lab. From morning until evening. Supervising the students to fix every bit of wrong data. Until it was correct. Not until Yunqing called. Did she realize it was already 6:30 p.m.? She glanced at her phone but didn't pick up. Continuing her unfinished work without her hand trembling even a bit. It's late. You guys head back first. A female student in a white lab coat respectfully asked Professor, would you like to go grab dinner with us? A male student also chimed in, that's right, Professor. A new BBQ place just opened across from the school. It's our treat. No need, you guys go ahead. I just hope the data you submit next time isn't this inaccurate. She raised her eyes to glance at the two, her gaze freezing. We're so sorry, Professor. Next time we'll definitely pay attention. I'm starving to death. Starving to death having BBQ with Yunqing tonight. But I miss hubby. Again, I want to eat BBQ with hubby so bad. Our professor is clearly so beautiful, but I'm seriously terrified of her. I heard before she was young and talented, with a legendary resume, so I thought she'd be easygoing. I was happy for nothing. Hey, you guys think? The professor is like this in front of her husband too. At this moment, Gu Qingning was sitting in Yunqing's car. I really think your intel was wrong. If it's wrong that Brat Song Ziki is dead meat, I really don't want to divorce him. You won't get divorced. Later, I'll take you to get some new equipment upgrades. Gu Qingning always trusted Yunqing. Hearing her say the divorce wouldn't happen, she felt much more at ease. As for the equipment, I'll just take a look and see. Can we really go in here? Isn't it a bit weird? On the contrary, Yun King was very calm and dragged her straight inside. Didn't you say your seduction failed? It's definitely because the dose wasn't enough. Let me be your strategist. This doesn't seem very good. Gu Qingning's voice carried hesitation, but her feet were very honest as she followed Yun Kang inside. I don't want a divorce at all. It was so hard. To marry Li Song. I'm definitely not letting go. The business trip didn't go very smoothly. I had to meet too many people, and it dragged on for almost a week. I drank so much, my stomach was about to bleed. Finally, the partnership deal was closed. Sigh, I promised Gu Qingning we'd talk when I got back. Yet I kept having to push it back time after time. She never used to take the initiative to contact me. But after I called to explain the missed appointment, she started wishing me good morning and good night every day. The messages were a bit dry, and it was obvious she didn't do this often. But they brought a strangely warm feeling. Does me sending these things disturb your work? If so, I won't send them anymore. Does me sending these things disturb your work? If so, I won't send them anymore. Not at all, it's quite interesting. Reading. These during meetings makes me less frustrated. Even though my replies were brief, she began to share more and more from the sunset on the road, and a lazy cat at the lab, to a new dish at the cafeteria. Despite being busy all week to the point of exhaustion, I felt like these past 7 days were more intimate than our 2 years of marriage combined. A few days later, finally, I boarded the flight back. I didn't tell Gu Qingning in advance, because I wanted to give her a surprise. I wanted to see her reaction. When I suddenly appeared, after leaving the airport, I took a taxi straight to Capital University. Standing at the lab door, I looked through the glass. I saw Gu Qingning maintaining a cold expression while lecturing 4 students. Those 4 students looked around her age, but their presence was completely overwhelmed by hers. I'll say this one last time. If you can do it, do it. If not, submit an application to change your advisor. If you feel like you can't stay here, but are too afraid to say so, I can go recommend it to the school board myself. This was the first time I'd heard such a cold tone from her. The Gu Qingning from before always looked aloof and cold on the outside, but when she spoke, there was always a trace of hard-to-detect gentleness. Watching her through the glass made me feel that maybe it's not that I don't like the cold type after all. For instance, right now, wearing that white lab coat with an explosive aura like Gu Qingning's, she's actually deadly attractive. Xin Chuan, who was bowing his head while taking the heat, caught a glimpse of me outside the window. He couldn't help but look a few more times. Xin Chuan, what are you looking at? Is there experiment data you need out there? Saying that she followed Xin Chuan's gaze. Saying that he followed Xin Chuan's gaze the moment she saw me. A flash of surprise flickered in her eyes. Oh, it's hubby. Hubby's back. Hubby came to pick me up. What do I do? Was I too fierce? Just now, will hubby misunderstand and think I'm mean? Oh no. I'm not mean at all. I'm super gentle. It's all because of these disobedient students. They ruined my image in hubby's heart. Not counting the morning we met before his trip. It has been 168 hours, which is 10,080 minutes, or 604,800 seconds since I last saw hubby. I miss him so much, every hubby echoed sweetly, making my ears burn. But the corners of my mouth couldn't help but curl up. I'm doomed. I think I've been made to grin like an idiot by her again. I nodded to Gu Qingning, gesturing for her to continue her work, with hubby as an audience. Gu Qingning immediately lost the heart to keep scolding them, but she still tried to keep a straight face, striving to maintain the dignity of a professor. She told the 4 students the issues I pointed out today. If you repeat them next time, you don't need to come back. Don't waste each other's time. After speaking, she waved her hand, signaling that they could leave. The 4 students felt like they'd been granted amnesty, simultaneously looking toward where I stood outside the window. They had seen it very clearly just now. The moment the professor saw this man, her aura completely transformed. I naturally let them stare, even giving a friendly nod in greeting. You want to stay and do more experiments? Only then did the 4 scramble to pack their things and bolt. Gu Qingning took off her white lab coat and walked out quickly. When she stepped in front of me, a small smile bloomed on her lips. Her tone carried a bit of guilt. Sorry to keep you waiting so long. Are you here to see Professor Lin and Professor Lee? No, I'm here to pick up my wife from work so we can eat together. So sorry for breaking our previous date. I said 3 days. Yet I was delayed for so long. When my hand lightly brushed her cheek, Gu Qingning's heart suddenly skipped a beat. The noisy chatter inside her head immediately fell silent. Oh no, with just one small gesture. I think I've fallen for hubby all over again. This is the 999th time I've caught feelings for Lee. Saying, one more time and it'll be exactly 1,000. When will he finally like me back? Just when will he decide to like me this time? Her inner voice carried a trace of subtle sadness. My heart tightened. I suddenly realized I truly need to get to know her properly. The 2 of us walked side by side along the tree-lined path of the university campus. It looked very peaceful, but that was only on the surface. In my ears, Gu Qingning's comedic monologue was playing on loop. She really is such a chatterbox, and there's a whole basket of strange, old words that make my ears burn. I heard her plotting in her heart, wondering if tonight she should try seducing me again. I couldn't help but turn to look at her for a moment as the sunset fell. Your face softened with its elegant features. The exhaustion after days of continuous business trips seemed to completely vanish at this moment. Seeing that it was almost dinner time, I spoke up and asked, do you want to eat anything? In her heart, Gu Qingning had already mumbled 800 times that she wanted to grill meat for hubby, to show she's a capable wife. But when she heard my question, she only turned to look at me once. I asked in a neutral voice, what do you want to eat? Gu Qingning, what's wrong with you? Just say it. BBQ, BBQ, BBQ. Hubby is asking you, why are you still acting cold? Didn't you say you'd stop faking it? I really want to slap myself twice. Holding back a laugh, I intentionally said, if you don't have anything special in mind, how about we go for some BBQ tonight? Whatever works. Our souls are totally in sync. Hubby is truly in sync with me. So happy, so happy. Super happy. My mood also improved accordingly. I took the initiative to find a topic. What did the students do earlier to make you so upset, eh? Gu Qingning, who was humming to herself in her heart, suddenly stopped her singing. It was just an experiment. I showed them exactly how to do it, short of just doing the results for them. In the end, they doubted one of my steps and changed it on their own, leading to the final data being completely wrong. Actually, doubting is normal. But what they should have done was verify it, right? Instead, they insisted they were right, without even bothering to check. This isn't the first time either. Previous times all proved they were wrong, and I was the one who was right. Hubby just saw me scolding people. I wonder if he thinks I'm too fierce. Will he be disappointed in me? Actually, I'm not mean at all. I'm super gentle even. Though I'm not really interested in academic research, most of my family members are in scientific fields, so I can more or less understand her feelings. I'm sorry. Is me talking about this stuff boring? My life is already quite dull, to begin with. Besides doing experiments, it's just research. Topics. Am I a very boring person? No wonder. Hubby doesn't like me. Hearing that, I looked at her seriously and explained. It's not boring at all. On the contrary, I find it quite interesting. Even though I don't work in your field, I'm always very interested in new things. Hearing me say that, Gu Qingning's eyes suddenly lit up. This was the first time I directly felt that. Someone's eyes could truly sparkle like the stars. It turns out, her emotions in front of me have always been this direct. It's just that the old me never took the time to look closely before long. We arrived at the nearby BBQ place. When ordering Gu, Qingning seemed much more open thanks to what I said earlier. She ordered the dishes she liked. When the BBQ meat was served, the staff asked if we needed help grilling. Gu Qingning refused without a second thought. No need. Thank you. I have to grill this myself for my dear hubby. Last time I saw another teacher eating BBQ with her husband. The wife did all the grilling. If her husband has something, my hubby must have it too. Haha, what kind of weird logic is this? Even if there's jealousy involved, it should be me grilling for her? But I quickly realized I was overthinking it. She really doesn't know how to grill. Looking at her fair hands, she almost touched the scorching hot grill rack. I was quick and agile, grabbing her wrist, on her ivory hand a red welt had already formed. It pained me to see. He's holding my hand, he's holding my hand. Hubby is holding my hand. If he'd just give me a kiss, it would be even better. He's holding my hand, he's holding my hand. Hubby is holding my hand. If only he'd give me a kiss, it would be even better. Does it hurt a lot? Yeah, let me ask the owner for some burn ointment. Okay, or should I go out and buy some medicine for you? No, I'm fine. It actually doesn't hurt that much. Gu Qingning timidly withdrew her hand. It wasn't that she didn't want contact with him, but being stared at by him like that. She was genuinely too shy. Her whole body felt weak. Don't be fooled by the bold thoughts in her head. In reality, she's very thin-skinned. I couldn't hear her inner voice, but I could see right through that. Confusion and shyness, so I just followed the flow and let go of her hand. But my worried gaze remained on her hand. Finally, I pressed the bell to call the server. Luckily, the BBQ place always had burn ointment ready. Gu Qingning took the ointment herself and applied it haphazardly. When she heard the staff ask if she needed a hand, she was so embarrassed she couldn't speak. She originally wanted to show off her skills, but it ended up becoming an embarrassment like this. I didn't bother the staff anymore, picking up the tongs to expertly grill the meat, watching my skillful movements. Gu Qingning just stared completely dazed. When the meat started sizzling and dripping with fat, I placed a cooked piece into her bowl. Only then did she snap out of it. She asked in a low voice, "How are you so good at grilling?" In college, I worked part-time at a BBQ place for a month. I didn't have any money back then, so I had to work part-time. Is that when Professor Lin told you to switch majors to do academic research? How could I not die back then? I won't ever go back to doing research. How did you know? I was a bit surprised. This happened back when I was a freshman. It was a long time ago, and not many people knew about it. Li Sang must be a bit panicked. He was too relaxed just now and accidentally let it slip. He originally planned to say he heard it from Song Ziki, but when he met my probing gaze, he fell silent for a bit and then spoke softly. I used to follow your social media account. When you were a freshman, I had actually already gone abroad. Back then, I was a sophomore studying overseas. Even though I knew early on that my wife was outstanding, hearing these words, I still couldn't help but marvel that she is truly amazing. Even more brilliant than I had imagined. Being praised by her husband, Gu Qingning's cheeks turned flush red again. Actually, before I went abroad, well, we had met once before. Back then, you thought I was a lost elementary student and even took me to the police station. That happened. Back then, it was just that I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet. I was already in the 9th grade. To me, it was just lending a helping hand. How could anyone remember it for so long, Gu? Qingning saw my reaction and felt a bit disappointed, but she quickly pulled herself together and briefly described the situation back then. It seems that during that semester, the 10th to 12th and 9th graders of First High had to temporarily share the high school wing because the middle school classroom building hadn't a corner of it. Collapse. Mentioning the building, I only faintly recalled it. I looked at the Gu Qingning before me, who exuded a total big sister aura. It's really hard to imagine that back in 9th grade. I mistook you for an elementary schooler. Just how tiny were you back then? I had skipped a grade at that time. Plus, I really hadn't hit puberty yet. In reality, back then, I wasn't much bigger than an elementary kid. You weren't wrong to say that. Haha. Then, you must have been a very cute little elementary girl. Gu Qingning froze slightly, staring intently at him. I used to always want a cute younger sister. If I took the initiative to take you to the station back then, it was definitely because you were too adorable. Otherwise, with my personality at that age, there's no way I'd bother meddling in others' business. I looked at her. My eyes filled with a smile. I can see it now too. Back then, you were a cute little sister, and now you've become this beautiful. Back then, you definitely made people want to dote on you more. I didn't want to just be a younger sister. I'm the one who will stay by your side for a lifetime. I was just making an analogy. I didn't actually plan on getting another sister. Looking at your blushing face, I feel like these days aren't bad at all. Just now, I finally confirmed it. It turns out the senior and the white moonlight my wife has missed all these years is actually me. Gu Qingning was still feeling embarrassed about her. Slip of the tongue. Her eyes avoided mine, not daring to look. I reached out to pour her a glass of barley tea and whispered, "Actually, that thing you asked Yun Qing to scout regarding my preferences, it was a bit off. I don't actually like the cold intellectual type of woman. Hearing that, Gu Qingning's eyes widened. Her face instantly turned pale. He knows everything. He knows I've been faking it. He knows everything. I'm such a total joke. Then, what kind of person do you like? I wasn't very sure before, but lately, I think I've started to feel it a little. How about you try being yourself and see? After all, we are husband and wife. We have to live together for a lifetime. On the way home after the meal, Gu Qingning had only one thought. Looping wildly in her head, hubby knows. He knows I was faking it. He knows everything. I really am a clown. But my hubby is just too smart. In the car, the smile on my lips never faded. Being by Gu Qingning's side, all my exhaustion was healed. I began to look forward to seeing her true personality. When we got home, as I was about to head to my room, Gu Qingning suddenly called out to me. Actually, it's not like I was completely faking it. In front of students, I really am like that. And with people I'm close to, my personality can be a bit noisy. I was afraid you wouldn't like that. If you don't try, how will you ever know? So, I'll try it then. I just didn't expect her to take action so quickly. The next morning, when I woke up, I saw a piping hot breakfast spread on the table. Beside it was a sticky note, "Good morning, hubby. I have a class today, so I went to school early. If the food is cold, please heat it up before eating." After breakfast, I went to the company early. I was busy until noon when Gu Qingning unexpectedly called, saying she'd made lunch and wanted to bring it to me. A moment later, Gu Qingning appeared at my office door carrying a lunchbox. Earlier, when meeting employees downstairs, she still maintained her calm and elegant facade. But the moment she stepped into the office, her face was filled with pure joy. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at me. She patiently waited for me to finish my work. We sat together on the sofa ready to eat. "I didn't expect your cooking to be this good." Previously, we were both too busy, having absolutely no chance to cook at home together. When we did eat together, it was always dining out. Gu Qingning smiled and explained. After going abroad, I had to learn everything myself. Once I was an adult, my mom moved back home and wasn't there to care for me, so I had to figure out cooking on my own. I realized that after our clear talk yesterday, Gu Qingning stopped intentionally acting cold. Actually, she loves to smile, and when she does, she looks even younger, like a little girl. After finishing the meal, even though Gu Qingning's heart was lingering and didn't want to leave, she was very quick when clearing the dishes. Seeing that I also stood up to lend a hand, our hands unexpectedly brushed against each other. Gu Qingning's movement froze for a second. She looked up at me for a moment. I'm so embarrassed. Ha ha ha, wifey. You're being a bit too cute. Being called cute. Gu Qingning bit her lip tightly, not daring to look me in the eye. Her face grew redder. I intentionally teased her. "I've already called you wifey. Shouldn't you reciprocate a little? Give me a hubby, let me hear it." I watched her white teeth lightly bite her lower lip as she blushed, unable to squeeze out a single word for ages. I wasn't in a rush, turning around to grab the tube of burn ointment I bought this morning from the drawer. "Does the wound on your hand from last night still hurt?" Gu Qingning saw that I wasn't trying to force her, and her heart couldn't tell if it felt relieved or disappointed. Even though in her soul she had already called me hubby thousands and tens of thousands of times when I requested it directly. Like this, she truly couldn't utter the words. "Your hands are for doing experiments. How could you be this careless?" "Put some medicine on tea," I said. Unexpectedly, Gu Qingning just blinked, as if gathering all her courage, and held her hand out in front of me. I injured my right hand. My left hand isn't very flexible. Can you apply it for me?" I looked at the hand reached out in front of me, almost unable to resist reminding her that she clearly applied the medicine herself last night. But I still reached out and took the hand she actively offered. She opened her eyes wide, looking at me with anticipation. Hubby's hand is so warm. My hand is about to melt. As expected, while applying the medicine, all sorts of bold thoughts rang in my ears again. From holding hands to hugging, then to a beach vacation, where hubby applies sunscreen on me. Her thoughts were flying faster than a rocket. I tried to act calm, keeping a straight face. By the time I finished applying it, Gu Qingning's face was so red it looked like it was bleeding. She looked at the red mark remaining on her hand and murmured that luckily she applied medicine in time yesterday, so it didn't blister. I took her hand, brought it to my mouth, and gave it a gentle blow. The warm breath brushed over the back of her medicated hand, bringing a cool sensation. "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. I forgot. It's okay." "Then I'll head back first." Hearing that, I stood up to help her carry the lunchbox. "Let me walk you out to the door. I have a meeting this afternoon, so I probably can't drive you home." Gu Qingning walked obediently by my side, but her inner voice was surprisingly quiet. "My company is a small to medium enterprise that is currently on the rise. Normally at this hour, the employees are taking their lunch breaks or naps. There aren't many people in the workspace. But today, the moment I opened my office door, I saw the workspace was almost completely full. I was a bit speechless. Even during periodic meetings, It's never been this crowded. Gu. Ning was also met with a barrage of eyes simultaneously, turning in this direction, making her a little flustered. Hubby's employees are way too hardworking. Are they looking at us? Do they think we look like a perfect match? If I knew this many people would be watching, I would have worn something a bit prettier. Yeah, I miscalculated. My skills aren't sharp enough yet. Next time after doing this a few more times, it'll be fine. If I do this a few more times, hubby probably won't mind, right? He didn't say anything, so he probably doesn't mind. It's settled then. I glanced at the person playing out a whole drama in her head. Let's go. No need to pay them any mind. They're probably just curious to see what my wife looks like. Saying that, I reached out and lightly put my arm around her shoulder. I didn't make full contact, fearing she might feel uncomfortable. Her footsteps suddenly faltered as she took a small step back, proactively falling into my arms. Her warm body leaned close, making half of my body heat up as well. I gotta hug, hubby is so chivalrous, it's making me so worried. But it's okay, I'll take matters into my own hands. Ha ha ha, does hubby have abs? They must look amazing. I wonder when he'll let me try touching them once. Haha, just a peek would be fine too. Did you drive here yourself? Yes, I drove. I can head back on my own. Watching her car slowly disappear from sight, I turned back into the company to continue working. Gu Qingning didn't go straight home after work. Instead, she went to find Yunqing. That battle robe, bought last time, was still buried at the bottom of the closet, with absolutely no chance to be used yet. She's totally clueless about romance, so she really needed a strategist. Yunqing is a genuine second-generation rich kid, with a wealthy family. She never has to worry about money. She's a minor influencer online, specializing in beauty tips and restaurant reviews. Ms. Qing is waiting at the usual table. Thanks. Hey, gorgeous. What are you drinking? Where did you just come from? Yeah, how did you know so fast? I just finished lunch with hubby and came straight here. I'm not having coffee. My hubby just made tea for me to drink. Did you come here just to flex your romance? But seriously, how does Lee Sang hold back? Married for 2 years, living with a beautiful, innocent girl like you. And he's still playing the pure love game. I might have to go ask Song Ziki if that guy is just all looks and totally useless. These guys are so heartless. The two of you have been married for 2 years and still have a pure relationship. I bet you can count the times you've held hands on one hand. If all else fails, just get on the bus and buy the ticket later, girl. Actually, I was thinking the same thing. But I think Lee Sang is just respecting me. Married for 2 years and still just pure love. Even holding hands is rare, let alone anything else. Seriously, if it doesn't work, just act first and ask later, girl. Actually, I was thinking the same thing, shit. But I think Lee Sang is just respecting me. What the hell does this have to do with respect? Having you right in front of him every day and still holding back. If that isn't love, what is? You've got the looks. You've got the body. And you're smart too. Stop it, my hubby isn't. Weak, okay? Don't talk about him like that all the time. Sorry. My mouth just runs wild sometimes. I really didn't mean it that way. Let me show you some adult stuff. Wait, I still need a valid excuse, right? I don't think I can use this stuff for now. How are you going to take the initiative like this next month? Is summer break used the celebration as an excuse to go on a trip? Book a room with a single double bed. And you think you won't have a chance. Wu Qingning's birthday is in September, and Lee Sang's birthday is in March. They're both too far away. During summer break, his company will definitely be busy. He won't have time for a vacation. Then just go for a full-on offensive. Make your intentions a bit clearer to completely break the current deadlock. All right, then you tell me. What exactly do you want to do? After being busy at the company all day, I couldn't even make it home for dinner. I stayed right in the office, eating fast food with the employees. By the time I finished, it was past 8 p.m. But many people were still working overtime at the company. Normally at this hour, I would definitely grab some non-essential documents to finish them off. But today, my head was filled with the image of Gu Qingning carrying that lunchbox at noon, smiling as she walked toward me. In the end, I decided to clock out and go home. I walked out of the company, got in the car, hesitated for a moment, then called Gu Qingning anyway. The phone was picked up very quickly. Do you want to grab a late-night snack? I'm on my way home now. But right now, I'm not very hungry. If I refuse, won't I miss the chance to eat with hubby tonight? Of course not. Wait until you get home, then we can go out together. Okay, I'll be home waiting for you. I glanced in the rearview mirror, saw myself in the reflection, wearing a smile, and helplessly shook my head. Lee Sang, oh Lee Sang. This look of an inexperienced amateur is truly beyond saving. In no time, I had arrived home. The moment I opened the door, I saw Gu Qingning, who was sitting on the sofa, suddenly jump up. You're back. Yeah, I'm back. She looked at me with a sweet smile. So, do you want to shower first? It's still early after all. The next second, her inner voice rang out, suddenly, switching to the girl next door style. I wonder if hubby will like it. At this moment, hearing the thoughts in her heart, The smile on my lips grew deeper and deeper. Is the AC a bit cold for you? This time, I didn't hesitate to reach out and pat her head. Gu Qingning felt as if her little thoughts had been seen through by him. Asked that by me, she shyly shook her head. It's fine. I turned the temperature up a bit. It's not that cold. Then I'll go change my clothes first. No rush to shower. After taking a few steps, I suddenly turned back. You look really beautiful today. After saying that, I turned around and headed upstairs. Going up to the second floor, I could still hear her silent screams echoing from downstairs. She was like a broken record muttering over and over about being praised. Happy as a child? A moment later, I changed into casual clothes with a t-shirt and jeans. Coming downstairs, I saw Gu Qingning had also changed. Coincidentally, without planning it, we were both wearing t-shirts, one black, one white. It looked exactly like a couple's outfit. What do you want to eat? Since it's this late, how about porridge? A new place opened across the street. I heard the taste is pretty good. Do you go out for late night snacks often? Not really. Sometimes when I get back late from the lab, or if I'm hungry from reading, I'll go out for a bowl. The night breeze blew through, fluttering a lock of her hair. Gu Qingning and I walked side by side on the summer night street. The weather tonight was beautiful. Looking up, you could see a sky full of stars. The mood for both of us was as bright as a starry sky. Gu Qingning pointed at the shops along the road, earnestly introducing them to me. I suddenly remembered back when we first married Li Sang. Do you want to go get a late night snack with me? No, I'm busy writing the paper. Go by yourself. The ME back then didn't even want to spare the time to look at you a little longer. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but steal a few more glances at her. She paused slightly, instinctively reaching up to touch her face. Is there something on my face? No. I'm sure you've heard many people praise your beauty, right? In just a few short minutes, Gu Qingning's face turned as red as a ripe apple. Her eyes avoided mine, and she stammered a bit. Is that so? Since you're so beautiful, can I hold your hand? She looked at me and whispered, it's not like you'd be losing out, right? I don't have much experience dealing with girls. I'm afraid moving too fast will scare you. So, if you have any thoughts, you can tell me directly. Finally, our fingers intertwined. She happily swung our joined hands back and forth, smiling at me. I thought she wasn't paying attention to my words, since her appearance earlier was clearly so embarrassed that her mind had gone blank. Unexpectedly, the moment we sat down in the porridge shop, she stared straight at me. Since you said I should speak my mind, then I'll say it. Without any guard up, I nodded. Yeah, about our parents urging us to have a baby. I admit I did tell her to speak her mind. But did she have to be this blunt? Opening her mouth and immediately asking to make a baby. I suddenly realized the biggest gap between me and Gu Qingning was that her way of thinking was truly very pure. This purity doesn't mean she's stupid, but rather her living environment, compared to someone struggling in the business world like me, is completely different. Qingning saw I was silent and tilted her head, looking confused as her inner voice followed. Was I too direct? But there's nothing to really beat around the bush about. She paused and added, did you perhaps forget? Tomorrow we have to go to my parents' house for dinner. We've been married for 2 years. The relationship isn't exactly intimate, but every month, we always go back to our parents' house for a meal together. I remember. I'll come home to pick you up tomorrow. You don't have classes tomorrow afternoon, right? See, I don't have classes tomorrow afternoon. I'll wait for you at home. I'm telling you this in advance. Tomorrow my parents might bring up the baby thing again. Hubby even remembers my class schedule. Rounding that up, it means he cares about me. Caring about me means he has me in his heart. Having me in his heart means he likes me. Hubby told me beforehand. So when my parents nag about having kids, they can't blame me for being incompetent. Before we could use being busy as an excuse. But my parents probably won't buy that anymore. Hearing that, I belatedly realized that our parents had been nagging about kids for a long time, but I had never heard it once. Which means Gu Qingning was the one who stood up and blocked it all for me. Just then, the clay pot porridge was served. Through the thin white steam, I looked at Gu Qingning as she politely thanked the server. Sometimes I really feel that this little girl who seems innocent and clingy, deep down in her bones, possesses a resilience and gentleness beyond others. Later, if our parents bring up having kids with you again, just tell them to come talk to me. Just tell them straight up that I don't want kids yet. Hearing me say that, Gu Qingning paused for a moment, then gave a slightly awkward smile. Actually, it's fine. It's not like our parents are unreasonable. It's just that we've been married for 2 years, without a child, so they're getting a bit impatient. Man, my parents must be thinking, why haven't I gotten into hubby's bed yet? Bikik. Hearing that, inner voice my guilty and quiet mood suddenly broke into a laugh. I looked up to see Gu Qingning staring at me, probably not expecting me to look up so suddenly. She froze again and turned red. Her face flushed as her gaze instinctively drifted out the window. Before you said that, when studying abroad, you lived alone and valued your private space, right? Back then I was still young, and mom lived with me for a while. When I got a bit older and got used to life abroad, I moved into my own room. She looked at him, her heart filled with anticipation. Why did hubby suddenly ask about this? Am I overthinking things? Actually, I do value my private space. But if hubby asked me to sleep in his room, it's not like I'd say no, it's already this late. So dreaming a little isn't too much, right? Hubby is so gentle tonight. I want to move in right away. Haha, hearing her inner voice. I couldn't help but laugh, a dignified university professor. Yet her head is filled with these naughty thoughts. Every day, but she's pretty adorable. I looked at the girl who was still busy, calculating in her head which pajamas to wear after moving in. So, do you want to move in with me? I'm being serious. I'm inviting you to move in together. Gu Qingning's already large eyes grew even wider. She looked at me blankly, as if she hadn't processed it yet. Of course, I'm just asking for your opinion. If you don't want to, then never mind. I just feel that since we're already married, before the words even finished leaving my mouth, she shyly covered her mouth and looked down, not daring to meet my eyes. I mean, we've been married for 2 years already. Since we've decided to get to know each other seriously, then living together is very logical. I agree to move in. That's good. Don't worry. After you move in, until our feelings progress to that stage, I won't do anything to you. Wait, what? Why won't you do anything to me? Is it because I got fat? Or is it because I'm not sexy enough? I'm not even afraid of you doing anything. I'm only afraid that you won't do anything at all. Whatever, I'll just move in first and see. I'll figure out a way later. Black stockings, white or skin tone, eat up. Also, the seafood porridge will get fishy once it's cold. About moving rooms, we'll discuss it further after coming back from your parents tomorrow. Whatever works, I'll listen to you. Eat quickly, it's getting cold. After finishing, we leisurely strolled back home. It wasn't too late yet. On the road, we could still see cars and people passing by. The two of us chatted about random things, from work to life, hobbies to passions. I suddenly realized, even without hearing her inner voice, our normal conversations were actually very enjoyable and natural. Back at home, we headed upstairs one after the other. Good night, hubby. Are you really not asking me to move in tonight? Honestly, it's not like I have that much stuff. I could just bring myself over and it'd be fine. This time, I didn't give in to her wishes. After all, I needed some time to accept the fact that I was about to have a bedmate. The next day, I was busy at the company all day, but still left on time to prepare to go home. While passing by a flower shop, I intentionally stopped to buy a bouquet of roses. Gu Qingning was already dressed and waiting at home. Mom likes lilies. I thought these flowers were for Professor Lin. I know. I also know you like tulips. I couldn't get them this time, but I'll buy them for you next time. These roses are for you. For me, yeah, for you. Do you like them? I do. I love them. This is the first time hubby has ever given me flowers. I have to preserve them very carefully. I'll take them to school to make eternal flowers and display them in my office. If you like them, I'll give them to you every day. No need for that? Nah. It's such a waste. The freshness of a bouquet only lasts 1 or 2 weeks. Can you give me one bouquet every week because receiving flowers from you could keep me happy for an entire week? Those words were like a small stone thrown hard into my heart, sending out ripples one after another. My heart rate suddenly went haywire. So is Professor Gu happy now? Can we go home together? Many people call me Professor Gu, but whenever Li Sung says those 3 words, they carry a lingering sense of flirting. Sure. She carefully placed the bouquet on the table, reaching out to gently stroke the petals. The smile on her lips was impossible to hide. The 999th time Gu Qingning has fallen for Li Sung. Almost at the 1000 mark. This was the most sincere inner thought I'd heard following the 998 times before. Looking at her slender back, my already shaken heart began to beat even faster. Let's go, let's head back. Otherwise, Mom and Dad will get impatient waiting. Gu Qingning gently caressed a petal, her mood brightening even more. She turned and walked toward me, her steps light like a little bunny. Can I hold your hand? These words stunned Gu Qingning. She looked at my palm and without a second thought, reached out to grab my hand. Of course you can. Perhaps she doesn't need overly polite gentleness. Sometimes just drawing closer to each other is enough to keep her happy for a long time. Our house isn't very far from my parents. It only takes half an hour to drive there. When I led Gu Qingning through the door by the hand, Professor Lin, who was watering flowers, teased, "Ayo, the young master is back." Her gaze suddenly stopped at our tightly interlocked hands, and her eyes lit up instantly. "Qingning, you're here? Come here and let me see. Have you lost weight lately?" "Mom," Gu Qingning called out obediently. Even though she was reluctant to let go of my hand, she still dutifully walked over. "No way, Mom, your favoritism is way too obvious. You call Qingning so affectionately, but you call me young master. That's some serious discrimination right there." She called Qingning so intimately, making Gu Qingning's cheeks flush red. She looked up at me, her gaze carrying a bit of shyness. I responded to her with a reassuring smile. As expected, she blushes the moment I tease her. You looked up at me, your gaze carrying a bit of shyness. I responded to you with a reassuring smile. As expected, you blushed the moment I tease you. Yeah. Our Qingning has such fair skin, don't let the sun darken it. Lisang, go to the kitchen and help your dad. Mom, how about I do it instead? Lisang just got off work, he must be tired. Hubby just finished work, how could I let him cook? I'd feel so bad for him. I wonder if hubby knows how to cook. What should I do? Suddenly I really want to eat hubby's cooking. One look, and I knew mom was intentionally shooing me away. To have a private talk with Gu Qingning. Yes ma'am, I'll go cook, you two ladies. Just relax and wait for dinner to be served. Awesome, hubby actually knows how to cook. Hubby worked so hard, I'll give him a massage when we get home. But what if hubby refuses? Tonight's return home is definitely something to look forward to. I wonder how she'll bring up the massage with me. Ayo, the young master is back, Gi. You've worked hard, dad. Haha. Qingning, go to the living room and relax, dear. Dad's making the garlic roasted ribs you love most. Okay, if you need any help, just call me anytime. I'm actually a pretty good cook too. Looking at my parents' attitude toward Gu Qingning, I suddenly realized that after being married for over 2 years, this might be the first time I've noticed that in this house, my wife seems more welcome than I am. What are you looking at? She's already out of sight. With that soulless look of yours, I would have thought you two were newlyweds. The meal went on in an extremely happy atmosphere until Professor Lin put down her chopsticks, looked at me, and cut to the chase. Li Sang, my heart suddenly skipped a beat with a bad omen. I gave a yes and calmly placed a piece of garlic rib into Gu Qingning's bowl. Looking at her face, hearing the joy bubbling up inside her. I felt like this meal was getting quite interesting. Professor Lin looked at me and cut to the chase. You're not a kid anymore. When do you plan on having a baby with Qingning? Your sister and brother-in-law hardly see each other a few times a month, so I've stopped nagging them. But you and Qingning live together every day, so why hasn't there been any news? Mom, Dad, Mo. It's because I've been too busy with things at school and the lab. It's been a lot. Don't make excuses for him. I went to the school and asked about your schedule myself. You're basically not as busy as you claim. Mom, I really was busy before. The company was just starting up. There was so much I had to do personally. That was then. But what about now? The company is stable now, so what's your excuse? Yeah, what about now? Does hubby want to have a baby? I can cooperate anytime. Professor Gu looked at me with a serious face on the outside, as if she didn't have a single selfish thought. But inside, she was already thinking naughty things. She's definitely a girl whose words don't match her heart. I'm not busy now, but don't rush us, Mom and Dad. Let's just let things happen naturally. If we rush too much, it'll just create psychological pressure. What does hubby mean? Does he actually want a baby now? Okay, hubby. Tonight when we get home, I'll use all those things Meng Yun gave me. After dinner, we sat with the two professors to watch TV for a bit, chatted a while, and then prepared to head home. On the way back, I was constantly waiting for Gu Qingning to bring up the massage. As it turned out, she was silent the entire way. Even her inner voice didn't mention a single word. Once home, I intentionally stretched my arms and reached up to rub my shoulders. The hint couldn't have been more obvious. As expected, Gu Qingning noticed. She watched my movements, hesitated for a long time, then spoke in a tiny voice. I learned something from the teachers at school before. Just you all. Some massage techniques. If you're feeling tired, do you want to try it out? I'm really good at this. Hubby, please try it. I'm begging you, if you don't try it, I'll be so sad. I wonder if hubby will even like it. Are you not going to let me in? Humph, my heart is racing so fast right now. It's practically about to burst. Hubby, please open the door. Hubby, please open the door. Do you need a wife? Your wife is here. I'm coming right out.